How's it going on, my viewers? Welcome to the channel. What is going on? We've got some pretty interesting news going on. I was literally just told about this by like 20 minutes ago as of me recording this video. But first of all, big ol' announcement from the Pokemon Players Cup. If you watch VGC, if you want to watch VGC, if you want a free Porygon 2, you know, bit with the, the Cherish Ball, etc. If you want a Porygon 2 with that Cherish Ball, now is your chance. If you tune in to the Players Cup this Saturday, this Sunday, you'll be able to pick up a Battle Ready Porygon 2. And by Battle Ready, I'm assuming it just means it's going to have like one IV. That's literally how it goes every time they say it's, oh, this is Battle Ready. Either way, it's a free Porygon 2. It's in a Cherish Ball. There's no reason not to get it. There's just no reason not to get it. In any case, got some big announcements. I'll tell you that in a second. But like I said, if you want to get this Porygon 2, all you gotta do is tune in this Saturday, Sunday, August 22nd, 23rd. At least I think it's this Saturday and Sunday. August 22nd, 23rd, to be able to get the password, etc., or the code to be able to unlock this Battle Ready Porygon 2 into your Sword and Shield game. So tune in. You can find the news here on the main Pokemon website. You can get all the details there. But let's move on to the real. Alright, on to the news. That's right, if you're reading this, there are some new VGC Season 6 rules being announced. Apparently it's been announced via the Japanese Pokemon people. And we have some very interesting things happening. So obviously Season 6 has been announced, blah blah blah. Pokemon will be allowed, or etc. from Galar Pokemon Dex, Isle of Armor, Pokédex. You know, they have to have the have the battle ready status, or be caught in Galar, etc. from Isle of Armor, from the mainland game. But we have some new things, some bans this season. So I don't know if you can see it, but these Pokemon have been banned. Venusaur, Gyarados, Porygon 2, Tyranitar, Torkle, Hippowdon, Magnezone, Togekiss, Excadrill, Whimsicott, Incineroar, Mimikyu, Rillaboom, Cinderace, Indeedy, and Dragapult are banned. That's right. The meta is being shaken up this next season. A lot of these are very popular Pokemon, very, very powerful. Some of them are just, I can't believe that they banned some of them. Like, seriously, I'll explain what I mean. But I'm going to talk about some of the big ones. Some of the ones that I'm not going to talk about are the obvious ones why I don't like them. Everyone knows why I don't like Incineroar. I just don't like it. It's just one of those Pokemon that when they wanted to create a very powerful, competitive Pokemon, Incineroar was just too good. It was just too good at what it did. Intimidate, fake out, bulky, high offensive pressure, decent speed. It was just too good at doing everything. If you needed a fake out user, Incineroar. You needed an intimidator, Incineroar. If you needed a Pokemon to recycle said intimidate, Incineroar. And it got the move Parting Shot. So not only does it, not only can it reduce physical attack again, it can reduce the special attack without hurting the opposing Pokemon. And then it can come back in and use another Intimidate. It just did too many things well. It just could do things too well. But let's talk about some of the big ones. First of all, we're going to talk about Torkle here. Torkle was banned. It was one of the primary sun setters. You know, Ninetales was there as well. But Torkle has always been the primary sun setter. Because when it comes to the weather wars, whoever is slowest sets up their weather. And in this case, Torkle was that answer. It always was there because that speed stat of 20 meant there's like only one Pokemon out there that could hope to compete with that low of a speed, and it's not even a weather setter. The only way you could beat Torkle in weather wars was if you could, is if you brought in your weather after him. So you had to spend a turn to set up the weather in order to counter Torkle's weather. And it was just a very powerful fire-type Pokemon, especially in the Trick Room setting. We'll get into the Trick Room Pokemon later. Next up, Indeedy. Female and male Indeedy have both seen a very high usage. Male Indeedy more often now, thanks to the expanding Force move. And Indeedy, just in general, it was a Pokemon that you could always use for follow me shenanigans. You could always use it to misdirect, redirect attacks, etc. And it was just such a very tanky Pokemon, especially if you look at the female variant. Very high special defense, very high, or much higher HP, I think. Actually, no, I think they both have the same. No, actually, female Indeedy has more HP. So slightly more HP and slightly more defense in exchange for losing some offensive pressure. It was just a very powerful defensive Pokemon, and it also had the ability Psychic Surge. When it came to the terrain wars, Indeedy was just one of those Pokemon that you always had to watch out for, had to be careful about, and female Indeedy was rivaled with Rillaboom in terms of its speed stat. So those two were constantly fighting for position of their terrains. Next up, the big dog itself, the king of VGC Sword and Shield, Tyranitar, was banned. That's right, the big dog itself, Godzilla, is out of VGC for Season 6. Or not Season 6, but Season 10 for Series 6. It is banned. It was one of those very powerful Pokemon. It had a very unique speed stat. You can see it down there at 61. It was on the verge of either being a fast Pokemon, could be trained to be fast, or it could be used as a Trick Room Pokemon. And it was one of the primary sand setters. It was also one of those primary weakness policy users with so many weaknesses: weakness to water, grass, 4 times the fighting, ground, bug, steel, fairy. It just took a lot. It could just take a lot of it. It just didn't want to get a lot of hits until it got the Dynamax. The moment it got that Dynamax, bam! Tyranitar said, "Hit me with your best shot." And it was just such a devastatingly powerful Pokemon. If you could not destroy this thing or shut it down on turn 1 of it appearing, you were in trouble. You were gonna be in trouble. You were going to suffer many bad things. Up next is gonna be Venusaur. When Venusaur got into the meta, he was pretty powerful. But when he got his Gigantamax, he was still pretty powerful. His strategy didn't change very much, but he had some new tools with his Gigantamax. He was one of the fastest plant-type Pokemon out there to set up, really fast sleep powders, deal a lot of grass damage and poison damage. It was one of those Pokemon that you had to be prepared for. You had to be able to counter it, you had to be able to stop it. And it was always that, is he gonna Gigantamax the Venusaur, or is he going to try and sleep powder me? Because Venusaur could just shut down so many Pokemon with one sleep powder. It could shut down so many Gigantamax, Gigantamax, Dynamax Pokemon with just one move. Shut it down for 1 turn, maybe 2 turns, and 3 if you're very unlucky. It could just do so much. Then we had my favorite Trick Room setter is now gone. We just talked about, you know, how it's getting released as a brand new a Cherish Ball Pokemon for an event. Porygon 2 banned. It's one of the best Trick Room setters. It's in the 60 speed range, which makes it a very slow Pokemon and an ideal Trick Room user, because since it's a second evolution, it has access to the Eviolite, which means these powerful defense stats of 95 and 90 will be increased by half. That makes Porygon 2 just one of the tankiest Pokemon you can find around. It was the safest bet to use a Trick Room on. You basically had to hit this thing with a super effective hit and then some to shut it down, or hit it with a priority taunt, or stop it with taunt, or fake it out. Because if you let Porygon 2 stay on the field, it's going to set up that Trick Room, and it's got useful abilities. It's got the download, it's got the trace, it even has analytic if you don't want to run the Porygon 2 in the Trick Room setting, which improves its offensive power. Oh, I'm gonna miss my, my team hat has lost 2 of its key members, which means I'm gonna have to really think about how I'm gonna adjust my team to be able to compensate for the loss of these 2 very powerful, very necessary components to the team. And then the most random Pokemon to be banned, Hippowdon. Why Hippowdon, Gamefreak? Like, I get it. It's slower than Tyranitar, but why Hippowdon? I haven't seen a Hippowdon in my ranked battles since like season 7. How are you banning these Pokemon? What algorithm, what reasoning, what logic are you using to ban these Pokemon is all I'm asking. But in any case, if anyone can answer why Hippowdon was banned, just tell me in the chat. Or not chat. Tell me in the comment section. The other Pokemon, as I said, were banned. Magnezone, Togekiss, Excadrill, Whimsicott, Incineroar, Mimikyu, Rillaboom, Cinderace, Indeedy, Dragapult, alongside Hippowdon, Torkle, Tyranitar, Porygon 2, Gyarados, and Venusaur. Gyarados, it was a very powerful Moxie setter, or Moxie user, because when it Dynamaxed, it could gain speed with the max airstream and just start to sweep that way if it wasn't shut down. Magnezone was actually a very popular Pokemon in the upper levels of VGC, especially in the very pro scene. A lot of Magnezone users out there. Then you got Togekiss, Excadrill. You don't need me to tell you why these 2 are banned. They've been in VGC Sword and Shield since Season 1, Series 1, since Day 1. Whimsicott has been in there as well. It's been one of those very necessary Tailwind setters with the Prankster, etc. Other tricky shenanigans with Whimsicott have been there. Rillaboom, the moment it got the Grassy Surge ability, it shot up in usage, and when it got Grassy Glide like a month later, it just became absolutely it was just like that. It was just everywhere. It was just everywhere. Same with Cinderace. The moment it got its Libero ability, it became Generations I guess Generation 8 Greninja? Yeah, it became the new Greninja. It just became the new Greninja. Mimikyu has been in there as well. It's one of those it's another popular Trick Room setter, but it's just a very powerful Pokemon with that ability to absorb any attack and just shrug it off and say, "All right, you broke my disguise, whatever. I'm still on the field." And Dragapult, Speedy Boy, is gone. I'll see you kitties in the next video. Tell me, what do you think of the meta shift, etc.? Do you think Gamefreak banned your Pokemon? Was one of your Pokemon banned this next series? Are you crying tears of sadness like me at the loss of my Porygon 2 and my Indeedy? I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!